Thank you all so much for watching Weather with Sim again. I really do appreciate you guys joining my live stream. We have a huge problem that we're going to be facing as we get into the weekend, as we will be seeing not only the potential for severe storms, but we could also be facing the potential for life-threatening flooding, guys. This is not looking good for a lot of us, as we could really be seeing the potential for some pretty big impacts tomorrow, as not only could we be tracking severe weather like I said, but also the potential for some pretty big flash flooding around. So this is something that I do recommend being on high alert for, as this is really going to be a pretty big problem for tomorrow. And I think we're going to go ahead and get started on that stuff. So if we first start off by going over the risk for severe storms for tomorrow, you guys can see how we do have an enhanced level 3 out of 5 threat for severe storms, mainly across this entire area that you see right here. This includes areas like western Alabama, pretty good portion there of northern and central Mississippi, back over there into northern Louisiana, even places like eastern Arkansas and southern Arkansas will also face the potential for severe storms for tomorrow. So we will need to be watching this very closely, and we also do have a slight risk going right around that enhanced risk, which is also another area that really does need to be on high alert out there, as not only will we be seeing the chances for tornadoes, but we will also be seeing chances for damaging winds, as we do have a pretty big 30% chance for damaging winds right in this red color that you see, but we also have chances for large hail as well. So now's a good time to be on high alert, as we will likely be facing all hazards for tomorrow, including the potential for even some strong tornadoes. Now keep in mind that this could really be a big one, guys. We could be seeing potentially a tornado outbreak tomorrow. Even though this is only a 10% hatched risk, we could still be facing a pretty big risk for strong tornadoes for tomorrow. So make sure you are getting on high alert out there, guys. This includes Memphis, Clarksdale, even over there towards Tupelo in Mississippi, Greenville, Pine Bluff, Eldora, even over there in Monroe, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi. So make sure you guys are all being on high alert in those areas, as we do have a pretty big chance for tornadoes for tomorrow, and we may even see a few as far north as Kentucky for tomorrow, as that 10 or not that 10 but that 5% even extends all the way up towards the Tennessee and Kentucky border. So make sure you are being on high alert out there, even if you live in Nashville, Birmingham, Hattiesburg, or even the New Orleans region. Now, let's also talk about the flood threat, because not only will we be seeing the potential for a tornado outbreak for tomorrow, but look how high the risk for flash flooding is, guys. This is a rare level 3 out of 4 threat for flash flooding in this area. This is bad. We're talking a rare high risk for flash flooding, and this is actually the highest flash flood threat you can get on the scale. This is not good news, especially for you guys in northern and northwestern Tennessee, southern Kentucky, and maybe even areas as far north as southern Indiana, which are also included in that moderate risk area. Even areas as far east as West Virginia will also be at risk for some pretty big flooding issues. Even southern Ohio, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, pretty good portion there of northeast Arkansas, southeast Missouri, and even extreme northern Mississippi will all need to be paying attention for tomorrow, as we do have a rare high risk for flash flooding in effect, guys. And you guys might be asking, why do we have a rare high risk for flash flooding in effect? Well, if we look at the total rainfall for the next couple of days, you guys can see that areas from northwestern Tennessee all the way up there into Louisville, Kentucky will all have chances of seeing anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rainfall, guys, including these areas shaded in red, which includes southern Illinois, southern Indiana, much there of Kentucky, including where you see this orange color, and also northern Tennessee, pretty good portion there of southeast Missouri, and as well as northeastern Arkansas will all be at risk for big time flooding for tomorrow, guys. Like I said, this is a lot worse than what it should have been. If you remember, yesterday we were only under the gun for, a little bit of flash flooding, given the fact that we started out as a slight risk. And then yesterday afternoon, they upgraded this to a moderate risk, and now they have it at a high risk. This is terrible. So make sure you are being on high alert out there, as life-threatening flooding and severe weather is definitely going to be likely for tomorrow. And just to show you guys that, once again, the National Weather Service is really pointing out some pretty big rainfall totals occurring down here in the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley. Same with the European ensemble. European ensemble does want to show some pretty good flash flooding heading from Arkansas all the way up there into parts there of Ohio, as we could be seeing anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rainfall across much of this area. Same as we look at the GFS ensemble, maybe a little farther to the north, as you can see, as the GFS ensemble wants to bring it a little bit more into Indiana, but still shows much of Kentucky, much of Illinois, pretty good portion there of southern Indiana, Ohio, northern and northwestern Tennessee, and as well as northeast Arkansas, all seeing chances for life-threatening flooding, as even the GFS ensemble, like I said, even wants to point out some areas in southern Indiana, maybe even picking as much as 4 inches of rainfall, guys. This is not going to be good. Make sure to really be on high alert out there, as we might even be seeing some pretty big rivers even overflow, as well as we could be seeing minor to moderate river flooding across much of this region. And like I said, same when we even take a look at the European ensemble, really does show some pretty good totals across Kentucky. So you guys really need to make sure you guys are being on high alert out there in Kentucky, as I do think some of these rainfall totals could even get as high as 6 inches potentially. Several inches of rain is not out of the question. So that's what we're going to really be keeping an eye on, like I said, for tomorrow. Now's a good time to be paying attention. One more thing that I want to look at, just to show you guys how concerning this is the models. The latest from the GFS model is still bringing those higher totals a little farther to the north. And check this out, guys. This is looking a lot more concerning now. If we zoom in to Kentucky and Tennessee, look at that, 6 inches of rainfall right over there in central Kentucky, guys. This is even worse than what it was showing earlier today. Southern Indiana still seeing chances for rainfall totals as high as 4 inches in some areas, especially where you see this maroon color. And same with even areas over there in Ohio. Maybe even some areas getting as high as 4 inches in southern Ohio. Maybe even some areas in Tennessee, especially the extreme northwestern part of Tennessee, maybe getting as high as 6 inches of rainfall as well. So this is definitely not good news, as it is starting to uptrend some more. And same as we look with the European model, as it's even includes, much of Kentucky with over 4 inches of rain. So that is not good, guys. This is a lot worse than what it was even showing earlier today. Let's see here. That is an insane amount of rain. I know. This is going to be terrible, guys. I am really concerned about how bad this could really be for tomorrow, and that's why I really wanted to do this emergency update with you guys, so that way you guys all had an idea on what to expect as we get into tomorrow. You know that we really care about you guys, and we really want you guys to stay safe from this kind of stuff. This is stuff you should not ignore and that you should always be prepared for. Even if it's just minor flooding, that's still something to be prepared for, as minor flooding can still cause a little bit of issues in some areas, especially given the fact that water is occurring right over the soil, which is still not good even though it's minor. So that's why we really want you guys to be paying attention. And if you guys didn't know, liking this video will really help support the channel, and I also do appreciate you guys, supporting my channel a lot. If you guys would like to stay tuned for my live stream on Saturday, which will be for tomorrow, consider clicking that subscribe button and turn on all notifications, as it not only helps support the channel, but you guys will also have a way to keep your guys' self safe, which is what we try to do for you guys. Let's see here. I'm in White House, Tennessee. I'm nervous. I'm in a low-lying area too. But I know that is pretty bad, especially if you are in those lower areas. Those lower areas usually tend to flood a lot more, so this is definitely not good overall. So yeah, that's, like I said, going to be what we're really going to need to be watching for as we get into tomorrow. And if we also look at a few more things, one of the other things I want to go over is the severe weather potential. Even though we do have a enhanced risk for severe storms already in effect, I would also like to go over the ingredients for severe weather, so that way you guys have a little bit of a better understanding on what we can expect. Let's see here. Thanks for the update, Sim. I think my husband may be in Louisiana for tomorrow. Yeah, if you're wondering about Louisiana, I think Louisiana will still have some pretty big issues, especially given the fact that we could be seeing some strong tornadoes tomorrow, especially if he lives over there in northwestern Louisiana, or even over here in northeast Louisiana. Those are going to be the areas in Louisiana to see the highest threat for strong tornadoes. So I do recommend, be paying attention, even if he lives anywhere in Louisiana, given the fact that even this 5% really does expand around. So I do recommend doing that. So that's what we're going to also be watching for, like I said, is the tornadoes for tomorrow. And if we go ahead and select the deep south, we're going to go ahead and select the southeast. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the severe weather ingredients on here by taking a look at the lightning flash rate. You guys can see how tomorrow we're going to have some pretty big time thunderstorms popping up across the deep south and as well as the Tennessee River Valley as we get into tomorrow, and where you start to see some of those white colors pop up, especially right here. That indicates chances for large hail, so we will need to be watching that closely as we get into tomorrow, and we will likely even see that continue even as we get into Sunday, and then most of that should be out by the work week, despite maybe a little bit of more thunderstorms rolling on through during the middle of next week. But for right now, though, we're mainly going to be focusing on this one, as a pretty big line of storms looks to develop, which could bring not only strong tornadoes but also widespread damaging winds, especially, which looks to be the biggest concern for tomorrow. But we still could be seeing a lot of strong tornadoes, like I said, so now is a good time to be on high alert out there. As the latest from the NAM model, if we take a look at the supercell composite, really strong supercell composite, and of course a really high amount of super significant tornado parameter is also really causing some issues as well. Let's see here. He's a truck driver, so he'll be passing through. Yeah, I hope he stays safe out there, my friend. Once again, we really do care about you all, and we hope you guys all stay safe. And, even though it's gonna mainly be down here in the deep south that we'll be watching for the highest tornado threat, we may even see some water spouts develop even over there in Florida. That will also be another area to keep an eye on closely. And so we will keep an eye on it for you guys. Just another overview so that way you guys can get a good understanding is that much of Kentucky, much of southern Indiana, much of southern Illinois, pretty good portion there of northeast Arkansas, southeast Missouri, and as well as a pretty good portion there of central and western Tennessee will all be at risk for life-threatening flooding for tomorrow, given the fact that not only are the soils very saturated, but some areas, especially areas in Kentucky, could see as much as 6 inches of rainfall, guys. And look, when I click on Kentucky and we click the this area right here, greater than 4 inches of rainfall can be expected. So that is definitely not looking good, as life-threatening flooding is going to be likely across much of this area right here that I'm getting ready to circle. It will pretty much be this entire area right here that will likely be experiencing some pretty big flooding issues tomorrow, like I said, as we will likely be seeing widespread amounts of around 2 to 6 inches of rain, guys. This is pretty crazy. Pretty darn crazy. And so I really hope you guys are getting ready out there, especially if you guys live in a low-lying, poor drainage area. And that's even worse than, being in a little bit of a higher spot. So that's why we really want you guys to take this seriously, even the severe weather threat as well, as we really do have a pretty good shot of even seeing a tornado outbreak tomorrow. And once again, flash flooding, potentially even historic flash flooding, could occur tomorrow, given the fact that we do have the highest flood threat on the scale, and this is also very rare. We don't typically see it. But we really do hope you guys are getting ready out there, like I said. We really do hope. Excuse me. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna be watching for, like I said, for what we can expect as we get into tomorrow for your Saturday. And if you guys are wondering about what a moderate risk for flash flooding means, it means numerous flash floods are likely, with a lot of significant flash floods possible. If you're wondering what a high risk for flash flooding means, which are pretty much the areas shaded in this pink color, that means flash flooding is likely, and it will likely even be widespread, and it could potentially be historic. That's what's really concerning whenever you get a high risk, is that flash flooding could be so bad, especially given the fact that areas that don't usually experience flash flooding it could be historic, like I said. So that's another thing to be thinking about, given the fact that we could be seeing a lot of flooding issues for tomorrow, guys. I am, hitting my head about this. We're all hitting heads, and we're hoping we can all, really get you guys covered for tomorrow. We will indeed go live for tomorrow, so consider clicking all notifications and subscribing. Let's see here. I feel aware, or I feel awful. Yeah, I know. I kind of feel awful too. I have not really been, seen stuff like this for quite some time. This is probably the first time on my channel that we have, been seeing both a tornado outbreak and life threatening flooding on the same day. And like I said, that really, is bad. It's really bad, and that's why we did this, to try to keep you guys safe. Like I said, it's not something that happens very often, but I'm at least glad we, are here to help you guys out. Let's see here. How are the winds going to be in Louisiana? The winds in Louisiana will likely be pretty strong. If you're wondering about the sustained winds will likely be, a little bit strong overall. We may see some gusts as high as 40 miles per hour, especially across the northern part there of Louisiana. Maybe even a few 50s around, especially where you see those orange colors. But for sustained winds, though, if you're wondering about that, sustained winds, likely gonna be seeing some areas right around 20 to 21 miles per hour, especially across the northern part of it. So depending on where you are in Louisiana, you will, probably be experiencing some average sustained winds of around 18 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 40 miles per hour in some areas. So that's the reason why we really need you to be on high alert in Louisiana, as not only will we be seeing those winds not caused by thunderstorms, but we will also be seeing those chances for damaging winds caused by thunderstorms, and that's why we really want you guys in Louisiana to be prepared for wind damage, which thankfully we're not seeing that up here to the north, but once again, life-threatening flooding is still just as severe, for my opinion. Let's see. Um, do I do think a major tornado outbreak is appearing unlikely. I get your opinion. Tornado outbreaks usually tend to be a little bit rare, but I think we are going to be seeing a pretty big tornado outbreak tomorrow. We've been looking at models, and we also been, really looking at a lot of the information. I think it's safe to say that we will at least be seeing a low end tornado outbreak tomorrow. It may not be a major one, but I still expect it to be a tornado outbreak tomorrow. So like I said, we really need you guys to be on high alert out there, and whenever you get these hatched marks in there, that usually indicates a chance of strong tornadoes, and that's why we are also concerned about a potential tornado outbreak tomorrow. So, like I said, I think it's safe to say that we will at least be seeing, a low to mid scale tornado outbreak. Maybe not a major one, but it will definitely be a, tornado outbreak overall, and we might even be seeing, some high end flash flooding as well. So, not looking good out there. Let's see here. It could end up like a tornado outbreak we had a few days ago. Yeah, that's probably something that it could be like, but the reason why we are concerned about tomorrow a little bit more is because the Storm Prediction Center has also been talking about how we might even be seeing a embedded moderate risk right in this area right here that I just circled. So that's also another reason why we're concerned about a tornado outbreak. It may not upgrade, but whether it does or not, we will likely be seeing a pretty, decent tornado outbreak overall. So, and if you haven't liked the stream yet, make sure to give this live stream a thumbs up, as we are going to try to reach around 20 likes at the end of this live stream. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, as we will be live tomorrow to cover you guys. Let's see here. If they add a moderate risk, I think it would be for wind. Yeah, it probably would get issued because of wind. I think you are right, my friend. It probably would get issued because of the wind. But the reason why wind isn't going to be the, biggest concern out of all of them is because we don't have a hatched risk. That's the only reason why wind isn't the main concern, is because it doesn't have a hatched risk as the tornado threat, because with a hatched risk for winds, it usually means hurricane force winds are possible, but without the hatched marks, it means there is a 30% chance of winds below hurricane force. So pretty much between 60 to 70 miles per hour within 25 miles of any given location. That's why tornadoes are going to be the biggest concern, is because they have that hatched risk. But like I said, they probably would still issue one, given the fact that wind are also going to be, pretty concerning overall as well. But I still do agree with you, Sam. I think you might be right about it. It's just that we still don't know exactly how it will play out. Let's see here. I'm sure they will add a hatch risk for wind somewhere in that general enhanced risk. Yeah, I was expecting that at first before they even issued this enhanced risk, but surprisingly, it looks like it's tornadoes for right now. But I would not be surprised if they did issue a hatched risk for wind as well. I think that's probably going to be the next biggest concern, especially if they, upgrade this to a moderate risk. We'll have to see what happens, but their last, chance to upgrade this to a moderate risk would be tomorrow morning before everything really gets started. I really do appreciate you telling me, Sam, though. This is really good information. But yeah, we've gone over a lot of things in today's emergency upgrade. I probably will go every or I'll go over everything one more time so that way you guys understand about what to expect, but we'll probably end this live stream in just a little bit, as we mostly gone over on what we can expect, but we might even talk about some winter storms as well in the future, just because I still have some time to do that. Let's see here. What about, let's see. What about North Carolina? So let's go ahead and search that. Let's see. You got, well, let me find your area real quick. So for your area in North Carolina, my friend, it looks like you're going to be experiencing some rain for tomorrow, as we will likely have some widespread rain ongoing for tomorrow, which could definitely lead to some issues. And just to show you guys that, let's go ahead and pull up the future radar with the HRRR model. And you can see how we're going to have some pretty good rain starting to move on into North Carolina, especially as we get into tomorrow night and into Sunday morning, where we're just going to have a lot of this widespread rain then starting to roll on into North Carolina. So we will need to be watching that area very closely, as I do think your area. Let's go ahead and look at the National Weather Service rainfall totals to figure this part out, but it looks like your area in North Carolina, especially as we get into Monday, could be seen right around an inch and a half in some areas. But if you live a little closer to the coast, probably around a half an inch. So depending on where you are in North Carolina, you would probably see anywhere from about a half an inch of rain to an inch and a half. So we will need to be watching that very closely, as a lot of rain is going to be pretty likely across North Carolina. Let's see here. By the way, they were talking about adding greater probabilities for tornadoes in the southeast Mississippi, not for the enhanced risk. Yeah, I heard about that as well. They were talking about adding greater tornado probabilities, but like I said, we're just gonna wait till tomorrow morning, as that's gonna be when we, officially figure out if this is going to be a tornado outbreak or not. Because usually they will, really figure the final answer out before the, event really gets started, which it looks like it's probably going to get started tomorrow afternoon. So that's why I'm saying in the morning is going to be the time to really look at it and figure out if we're, really going to be seeing a tornado outbreak, and whether upgrades or not. We'll probably go live for this, so make sure to turn on all notifications. Let's see here. Will there be strong winds in Charlotte? Strong winds in Charlotte. I do think that's a possibility, as it looks like winds in Charlotte, North Carolina, at least for gusts, will be pretty strong overall. We'll probably be seeing some gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour, especially as we get into your Sunday. Otherwise, it's not really going to be too crazy overall. Winds will tend to get a little bit higher, especially across the, North Carolina coastal area, but overall it looks like you're going to be seeing some gusts between, 30 to 40 miles per hour right in the Charlotte region. And if you guys didn't know, donations are available. We haven't seen very many donations yet, but once again, donations are available if any of you guys would like to do that. If you guys don't want to, that's perfectly fine, but there is the option to donate if you guys would like to. So feel free to do that by clicking the $ at the bottom of the chat. And there's even the options to become members as well. Let's see here. Are you using Streamlabs or OBS? I'm using OBS. But yeah, so we gone over most of everything that we wanted to go over in today's live stream. Once again, if you guys haven't liked the live stream yet, make sure to give the live stream a thumbs up, and also subscribe and turn on all notifications so that way you guys don't miss out on tomorrow's live stream, as we will likely be going live for tomorrow, given the fact that we could be seeing a pretty big tornado outbreak tomorrow, depending on how things play out. It's obviously not a guarantee, but I do think chances for a tornado outbreak are growing, and of course be aware of life-threatening flooding as well, as much of the lower Ohio Valley and Tennessee River valleys are really going to be seeing the chances for life-threatening flooding tomorrow, given the fact that some areas may even be seeing as much as 6 inches of rain. So now is a good time to be paying attention, as major and widespread flash flooding will be likely, especially in those low-lying poor drainage areas. But I still wouldn't roll out some even across areas that don't usually experience flooding, and that's the reason why we have that high risk in effect, which could even mean historic flooding potentially, which isn't completely out of the question. But yeah, we gone over most of what we wanted to go over in this live stream. I really do appreciate you guys joining, my friends. Thank you all so much for the support out there, and I hope you guys are also having a great Valentine's Day as well. We hope to keep you guys safe tomorrow as we will be going live, so make sure to turn on all notifications if you haven't done that already, and make sure to also subscribe to the channel, as you won't only be game reminded, but you also, can stay safe tomorrow, and it really does help support it, so make sure to do that. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Valentine's Day out there, and I hope to see you guys in the next video or live stream that we do, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching today's live stream, and goodbye.